Hello and welcome to Gatecrashers. Today we're exploring Gate 15. In human design, Gate 15 is the gate of extremes. It's the love of humanity, the rhythm of life in all its variety. In this Gatecrashers episode, we explore this energy through the character of Michal. Hi, Michal. Happy birthday. This series brings the human design gates to life through story, pattern, and lived expression. Gate 15 explores the gift of embracing the full range of human behavior, the humanitarian love that holds space for every kind of person, and the shadow of self-criticism in a world that worships routine. If you're studying human design or if you're exploring your own chart, this story may help you recognize the energy in real life. Michal has a drawer full of planners. Actually, it's not one or two planners. It's a full drawer full of planners. A full and slightly resistant and has to be pushed shut drawer of planners and journals and habit trackers, weekly spreadsheets, and at least one laminated schedule that she made during a particularly optimistic January some years ago. Some of them are pristine. Some of them have 3 enthusiastic entries and then nothing. One has a single page filled out in such detail. 6:30 wake, 6:35 water, 6:40 breathe, always a good one. And that reads less like a plan and more like a kind of hostage negotiation with herself. And none of them worked. For a long time, this felt like evidence that she was disorganized, unreliable, constitutionally unable to do the thing that everyone else seemed to manage without effort. She watched other people talk about their routines, their non-negotiable morning routines, their batch cooking Sundays, their 7 a.m. gym slots that they had apparently never once considered skipping. And she felt the particular exhaustion of someone who cannot find the frequency that everybody else seems to be tuned into. She's extremely good at other things. She is warm, perceptive, funny, deeply competent. The person you call when something goes wrong, because she will actively show up and has probably already told you how to prevent the thing that went wrong in the first place. But the routine, the thing that was supposed to be simple, the foundation upon which a productive life is apparently built, routine has always felt like trying to nail water to the wall. Gate 15 lives in the G center, the center for identity, self-love, and direction. It connects through the channel of the beat to Gate 5 in the sacral, the gate of fixed rhythms. And here's the paradox that sits at the heart of Michal's life. Gate 5 is the metronome. Gate 15 is everything else that the metronome cannot possibly contain. Gate 15 is the gate of extremes, not extremism. It's not excess for its own sake. It's the full, extraordinary, bewildering range of human behavior held in a single embrace. Every rhythm, every deviation from that rhythm, every way of being human that has ever existed, from the monk who rises at 4 a.m. and the artist who hasn't seen a sunrise in decades, to the parent running on coffee and love and no discernible schedule whatsoever. Michal contains all of them. She cannot commit to one rhythm because she is, in some deep structural sense, all rhythms at once. And this is how the average is created. Not by everyone being moderate, not by smoothing off the edges, but by the full range of being present. Gate 15 is what holds the collective beat of humanity, not as a fixed tempo, but as the entire orchestra. Every instrument, every timing, the whole beautiful cacophony from which something coherent somehow emerges. The love that runs through Gate 15 is not a personal love. Excuse me. It is the love of humanity. It's not the love of Gate 37 around the family hearth. It's not an intimate bond of one person with another. Truly, it is humanitarian love, the love of humanity in all of its incredible variety. Michal is genuinely, constitutionally interested in people. All people, every kinds of people, the ones who are easy, the ones who are complicated, the ones who are doing things she would never do. She doesn't sort people into categories of acceptable and not acceptable. She's seen too many rhythms to believe that hers is the only valid one. This is also why she will drop everything. The schedule cannot be kept, but the person can always be reached. The batch cooking Sunday plan evaporates as if it never was, but the friend who calls in crisis at 11 at night gets Michal, fully present for as long as she is needed. She's not unreliable. She is, differently reliable. Her commitments are to people, not timetables. And in the moments that matter, the real moments, the human moments, she's there. She shows up completely. The shadow is in the years before she knew this about herself. The years of the planners, the years of trying to be someone who has a typical Tuesday, trying to stick to the habit for 21 days because that is apparently how long it takes to form a good habit. You know, trying to be the kind of person who does meal preparation 2 weeks in advance, has a freezer full of things labelled. The years of feeling like the world was running on a rhythm she could hear, she couldn't quite join. The years of low-grade criticism. You know, that self-criticism that never really goes away. The voice that says, everyone else can do it, why can't you? And the world as a whole, it must be said, does not make this easy. The world has opinions about routine. The world has productivity frameworks and morning rituals and the strong implication that if you are not optimizing your habits, you are somehow failing to take your life seriously. For someone with Gate 15, this is not just unhelpful, it is actively misleading. The framework was not built for Gate 15. The metronome was not set to their frequency, and no amount of discipline will change this underlying design. And a note to Michal. I also have Gate 15. Bear has Gate 15. It's a thing. It really is a thing. And there is another kind of Gate 15, of course, that is worth mentioning. This one has made its peace a little sooner, or perhaps never needed to make it at all, because there is someone for whom the undefined G center means they take in the identity and direction of everyone around them, including Michal's glorious, ungovernable variability. And they find themselves shifting week to week between different rhythms without understanding why. One week they're a morning person, the next they can't imagine rising before 9. 1 month they're all about the routine and the structure, and the next it's dissolved entirely. They look at people like Michal and feel a kind of confused kinship. They look at the planner keepers and feel a confused envy. They are in some sense all of it and none of it, depending on who's in the room and who's in the transit. My 15 is on an open G. Theirs is on a defined G. It's very different experiences. But back to Michal. The peace, when it came, didn't come as an insight. It came as an accumulation. a slow gathering of evidence that the way she moved through life was not a bug in the system, but a feature. That the warmth she had for every kind of person, the ease with which she held the contradictions, the complete absence of judgment for people who did things differently, these were not separate from her inability to keep a schedule. They were the same thing, both sides of the same gate. Michal still has her drawer of planners. She's not going to pretend that drawer doesn't exist. But she opens it less. And when she does, when she buys a new notebook with a small private optimism, she smiles at herself now rather than sighing. She knows what this is. She knows why she's doing it. And she knows with reasonable certainty that it will be used for approximately 4 days before something more interesting happens. And something more interesting always happens. That, for Michal, is not the problem. It's the whole point. Gate 15, gate of extremes. It's a gift. Its gift is the love that holds the whole of humanity without needing it to be tidy. The embrace wide enough for every rhythm, every deviation, every person who doesn't fit the framework and never will. The beat of life is not always a metronome. Michal knows this, and it only took a drawer full of planners for her to find out. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Gatecrashers for Gate 15. Do you have Gate 15? Do you resonate? I know I do. So, as always, as you journey through your own design, as you find your way with all the paradoxes and conundrums that we find within our designs, and very often there are many, always love yourself. Always remember, there's no controlling any of it anyway. We're just passengers in the back seat watching the ride, eating the popcorn. And that allows us to sit and to go gently.